good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and we're back at it, going over builds you should consider bringing into Sunbreak. And today's weapon, you already see it, baby. You're already looking at it. It's the Charge Blade. Okay, now Charge Blade needs some help. Charge Blade in Rise needs some help. Hopefully, the balance patch that comes with Sunbreak is going to help out Charge Blade quite a bit. Okay, I have quite a number of grievances when it comes to this weapon in this game. However, that doesn't mean we're going to skip over it and not build for it. Okay, this weapon is super fun. There are a couple things that I hope they address this in the balance patch, right? But hey, that's all about control. All we can do is voice our concerns about the weapon and hope Capcom does the right thing. But yeah, so that's enough talking about all that. Let's get into the build. You already see the Charge Blade. It's going to be one of the most popular CB builds, right? We're going to be using the Ikaji Immortal. Okay, that's the Rajang Charge Blade. It has the highest attack, and this is going to be more for an SAED spam type of playstyle, right? So personally, when I do SAED, I love doing them out of Axe Hopper. This is Axe Hopper all day. Axe Hoppers on deck, landing those SAEDs. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be using the Ikaji Immortal. No slots there. Almudron Helmet S. Now this piece right here, if you're using Switch Axe or Charge Blade, this hat right here, if you do not have an excellent Rapid Morph charm, it's going to be your go-to. Okay, it comes with Rapid Morph 2 and it has two slots. Incredible, right? So I think I jammed in an extra Rapid Morph in there and an attack boost, right? So just to kick things off, Barath Mail, you know why it's here. You know I love using it. 2 defense, 1 attack. I threw in an artillery. Okay, artillery strengthens our file attacks, our Charge Blade file attacks, right? Like I said, this is an SAED spam playstyle, so we're gonna want the most out of our file attacks, right? Because an SAED is a bunch of files going boom, boom, boom. Okay. Oh my God, Valstrax arms are here. Exactly. We got Rathalos braces. Comes with 2 attack, and I threw in another attack on top of that, right? So yeah, already we're at what, attack plus 5 right here. You know where this is going. Agenath Coil is here, comes with 2 attack. I threw on Load Shells and 2 Stamina Thief. Load Shells, it's gonna help increase the Charge Blade's file capacity, and it doesn't, sort of. I'll explain what it does. So it's not like in previous games where you get an extra file for maxing this out. What this does is it lets you store your yellow charge and get full files from it, right? Usually when you store a yellow charge, you only get 3 files, but with Load Shells at max, when you have yellow charge and you stock your files, you'll get full files from it. Crazy good skill, it's really gonna help you pump out the SAEDs quicker, right? Instead of having to attack and get to red, you just get to yellow, boom, stock it, go into your Axe Hopper, bust your SAED, you know what I mean? And then Stamina Thief is here because since we're gonna be popping so many SAEDs, so many what's it called, exhaust attacks, right? Because if you're using impact files, it does exhaust damage too, so we're gonna squeeze out a bit more exhaust damage out of those file attacks. And here we got the Basil Greaves. Okay, Basil Goose Greaves comes with, I think, artillery 2. Yeah, artillery 2. No, comes with guard 1, load shells, and 1 artillery, I think. And then I gemmed in an extra level of artillery. That's what it is, right? Just to help get those file damage as high as possible. And then we're gonna take a look at our talisman here. I got 2 Mind's Eye on the talisman, a defense boost which I gemmed in, and then Carving Pro is leftovers, right? Because I think this is a Mind's Eye 1, Carving Pro 1 talisman, but I needed the extra Mind's Eye, right? So that way, you know, I'm telling you guys to bring a green sharpener's weapon to master rank. Master rank has tougher hides. I mean, you're gonna be walking around with blue or better in master rank. So because we're only gonna use green here, I'm gonna have to advise you to squeeze some Mind's Eye in somewhere. Get some Mind's Eye in if you plan on using this type of build, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to charge up your files, and you're not gonna be able to bust the SAEDs, which ignore sharpness anyway. But you do need to be able to cut the monster to build up the charge to get the SAEDs going, right? So let's look at the equip skills view. So we got attack boost all the way up to max, right? And because files scale off of your attack, right, when we're using the highest raw charge blade, this is going to enable us to do the most damage possible with our SAED files, okay? You hear that, Gun Lance? The files scale from raw. Anyway, I just want to say that just to make sure, you know, Capcom is listening, so that they scale gun lance shots with the raw of the weapon, maybe, because it makes sense. It's already in the game. Anyway, shut up. We're moving on. We got max artillery just to get the most damage possible out of those files. Once again, defense boost 3 for that 5% defense boost, just to make sure we can take a hit or two in master rank, right? These are future builds, right? Future proof builds, so I try to make them to where you're going to be comfortable in master rank despite using high rank equipment, correct? Rapid morph 3, gotta have it. You have to have it. And I think Axe Hopper does count as a morph attack. I'm not sure. I don't think it gets the extra speed, but I do think Axe Hopper counts as a morph attack if you do it from sword mode, right? So extra damage. Mind's Eye 2, so you don't deflect at all, right? And you get a little bit more damage when you're doing the hits, but that's not where most of the damage is going to come from on this build. Like I said, SAD spam is what we're here for. So yeah, but I did this just so you don't bounce, so you can actually store a charge and build up your files so you can bust them in the SADs. A little bit of Stamina Thief sprinkled on the top here, right? Just to kind of have the monsters drooling a little bit and make them easier to take advantage. Everyone's going to love you when you bring this to multiplayer and the monster's tired all the time, right? Load shells. You do this so you can stock your get full files from stocking a yellow charge. Incredible. Really helps speed up the gameplay loop when it comes to the SAD playstyle, right? You bust a SAD, blah 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 blah. You landed it because it's an axe hopper, and you can SAD in 360 degrees out of an axe hopper, by the way. So you land all your files, and then you're gonna stand there in sword mode, get back to work, pop pop, get to yellow charge, charge it up, hit the axe hopper again. You know what I mean? Now this piece of guard comes from the Basil Goose Greaves. You know, it's good. Whenever you need to guard, it's there for you, right? And then Carving Pro is just a leftover from my talisman, right? So this is going to be the SAD spam type of builds, right? And so it says 240, but let me go to my real stats. Here we go. 289 attack. Oh my god, these files are going to do so much damage. And this is before a Demon Powder, Demon Jug, any of those kind of buffs. Maybe you got a Hunting Horn in the party who's going to play attack up, and you're going to be doing massive file damage, since those files do scale with the raw of your weapon. So yeah, that's going to be the SAD spam Charge Blade build. Up next is going to be something very different, and it's going to kind of depend on this balance patch that we're going to get here, okay? So let's go head on back over here before I start talking about it. Alright, so we are here, and we have the Scream in the Night Charge Blade. Now this is the Nargacuga weapon with the 40% affinity. You see it. It's got base white sharpness already on it. Okay, now this playstyle is a little different. This is going to be the spin to win playstyle. Okay, let's see if will it show my yeah, see, condensed spinning slash, right? Rather than the charging the sword mode, this is going to be the savage axe mode from Iceborne, right? Where when you swing your weapon, you'll cut through the monster like a buzzsaw, and you'll do a bunch of hits as you just slice them up. It's cool. It's a cool ass playstyle. I do have my qualms with it, right? I hate that your condensed spinning slash charge goes away when you sheath your weapon or when you morph back into sword mode. or sword and shield mode. Stupid. Just let me keep it for a set amount of time. That way, anytime I use a morph attack, I can go back into the buzzsaw anyway. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this is kind of dependent upon what they do with that mode. You know, when the balance patch hits. If they let us, you know, hold on to the charge for a set amount of time rather than it disappears whenever you sheath, then this might actually be my go-to build, just because of how different it is from my usual playstyle has been in Rise, right? I'm an SAED guy, I like busting off SAEDs, but don't get me wrong, the buzzsaw is incredibly fun to use. It's just kind of hard to use because you can't sheath your weapon and you can't morph back into sword and shield mode, so like half the weapon is gone, right? Like, it's a mighty morphin weapon, let me morph. You know, but whatever. That's enough, you know, bitching about that. Let's get into it. Scream in the Night. And I think I gemmed in a protective polish, right? Gemmed in protective polish so we can keep that sliver of white up and, you know, cut through the monster. Kaiser Crown is here yet again. 3 critical eye, a crit boost, and a flinch free, right? So yeah, brought that flinch free. Just, you know, if you take this online, you ain't got to worry about other players. Long swords, they're going to be swinging. It's just going to cut right through you and not really bother you. Right here is Zinogre Mail for the other point of weakness exploit, because I know y'all see that. Valstrax braces up next, and a little bit of latent power as well. And then I gemmed in a stun resistance on top. Okay, Valstrax is here. And I threw in a protective polish so that, like, once again, we can, you know, keep that white sharpness up for as long as possible. Comes with 2x. You guys know about this piece. You guys know how much I love this piece. And we got Basil Goose Coil, okay? So we got our Basil Goose Coil is really good, actually. We got our protective polish through this. I gemmed in protective polish, and then another load shells, right? I think it comes with 1 load shells. Gemmed in another load shells, and it's got guard level 1 on it. Incredible piece if your weapon has a shield, right? So yeah, taking advantage of the slots here. And then we got the golden Hakama for the 2 critical boosts, right, which goes real well with this Kaiser Crown for max critical boost, and then another latent power on top of that with the 2 speed sharpening to kind of, you know, keep that white sharpness up. Now my talisman, listen before I show you my talisman, just know that CB is a very skill heavy weapon. Okay, it's very hard to get all the skills you need on a CB build. This talisman might be my best talisman that I own, period, hands down. So do your best. Just grab your best rapid morph charm and gem in rapid morph if you have to. Okay, but here's my talisman. I've been hyping it up, right? It is a rapid morph 3, evade extender 2, with a 2 and a 1 slot on top. Okay, so that's how I got max rapid morph and max evade extender, along with another speed sharpen on top. Now the reason why I go for max evade extender is with the condensed spinning slash, you can't put away your weapon, right? And you know, if you're in axe mode, you walk around slow like you're wielding a greatsword. So I put on max evade extender, even though I get 2 from the charm already. I put on max evade extender so that when I roll really far. Okay, I'm like the 4th Hokage. I call it the teleport jutsu, bro. You be rolling all over the place. You can roll halfway across the map, damn near, with 2-3 rolls. It's incredible evade extender in this game, right? So got the max evade extender so I can keep that axe mode out with my condensed spinning slash on and just roll all over the place and get to where I need to go, or roll away from monster attacks so that I don't get hit. Wirefall, which automatically sheaths my weapon, which cancels my spinning slash. You know what I mean? So that's why I got the evade extender. So let's go to this view just so you guys can see all the skills. Whew, got a hell of skills on here, man. Woo wee. Anyway. Critical Eye 3 comes with the helmet, so plus 15% affinity. The weapon already has 40, so right now we're at 55% affinity. Plus on weak points, you get another 50%, so that's 100% affinity on weak points, right? Boom, done. Like, so with that, we're gonna be doing 100% crits, and we're gonna use crit boost, so we get the higher critical numbers, right? Protective polish, speed sharpening, so that we manage that little sliver of white that comes with the Nagakuga weapon. Max evade extenders, so we can keep the spinning mode on as long as possible without sheathing our weapon. We can just roll all over the place to reposition and keep up with these monsters. Yeah. Latent Power 2 is going to increase our affinity by another 20%. So now we're at, let me calculate, 60 plus another 15, 75% affinity anywhere on the monster, right? So which is going to let us take advantage of this critical boost even more than just the 100% on the weak points, right? So it's not wasted affinity. I mean, it just comes with the pieces that we've elected to use anyway, right? Because I used the chest to get 1 point of weakness exploit, and I used the legs to get the 2 points of critical boost. So they just come with it. It fits really well in the build, right? Load shells too. Talked about this in the previous build. You get to stock the yellow charge, right? So that when you do go into the mode, you have files to use all the time, and that way you may be able to score some KOs while you're spinning that buzzsaw around. Yeah. Guard comes with the Basil Goose Coil. However, you may not be using guard all that much, since you want to keep that spinning mode on, right? So you're not going to be in sword mode as much as you'd like. But hey, if you catch yourself in sword mode and you need to block something, just toss that shield up. The little guard is here for you, right? Stun resistance, it's here. Nobody likes to be stunned. You don't want to be breaking your controller trying to roll out of a stun. So it's here. And then flinch free, that way when you go online, you're not tripped up by your teammates, and you can keep that spinning mode on. You know what I mean? You can keep it going uninterrupted, right? Because it's gonna be a pain in the butt when everything's all the stars are lined up. You got the spinning mode on. You're in a good position. The monster maybe fell over. You're gonna go in there and do your buzzsaw thing, and then you're gonna get shot up by a bow and arrow, and you can't move. Like, dang it, So avoid those. It's a 1 slot. Just toss in a little French free, okay? And then Dragonheart is left over from the Valstrax arms that we use for the 2 weakness exploit, right? So yeah, that is this build. A lot of stuff going on here, but all these skills are necessary to kind of barely make the condensed spinning slash playstyle happen. Hopefully in the balance patch, CB gets touched up a bit, and they make some changes so that that condensed spinning mode is easier to maintain. If that does happen, I may revise this build a little bit before going off and using it, but knowing what we know now, this is the best I can do. Cool. Now, last build for today is gonna be, now usually I give you guys like a good status, right? A status thing to use, but all the status charge blades just ain't it. So I went with an element. I'm actually using element this time, and I'll explain why. So we got the Keyblade, baby. Hold on, let me bust that Keyblade out. Yo, boy, I'm feeling like Sora, dog. Ooh, got that Keyblade out. Hold on, let me see some. Ooh, yeah. Looking like a Keyblade warrior, man. Anyway, we got the Arachna-Kadaki charge blade. Okay, now look at that affinity. That affinity is going crazy, right? That's part of the reason why I selected this. This one is going to be good for a mix of the 2 play styles, right? The first build I showed you was the SAD spam, boom, 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 boom. You're busting off SADs all the time. The second one was the condensed spinning slash, right? You're doing a lot of hits of damage. You're doing a lot of hits, got 100% affinity, and all those hits really chipping away with the critical boost on deck is going to really, output a lot of damage. This, I think, is a good blend between the 2, because it's got element files, right? So I actually rampaged it up for even more fire damage, and 191 attack. It's pretty good, but it comes with 35% affinity out of the box, right? So it's pretty easy to get really close to 100% affinity on weak points, right? When you take weakness exploit into account. So let's do it. Arachna Blade, right? And the slots on this thing is incredible. You get a 2, a 1, and a 1. It's 30% affinity. Is that what I said, or did I say 35? It's 30%. But you get a 2, a 1, and a 1. So I threw on the protective polish and stun resistance on there, and you get a sliver of white off the rip. Like, really good weapon, man. When I saw this, I was like, I think I'm gonna use that. And you know, given that the Citadel has an icy portion in it, I think we're going to be fighting a fair amount of icy monsters. Icy monsters are weak to fire. So here's a little, I mean, it's a little more specific, right? I like to give you guys builds that you can take to any monster, which is why I like Blast, Poison, Stun, and then the high affinity stuff. But hey, excuse me, throat dry, talking a lot. But hey, you know, half the Citadel is ice, so bring this on, you know, your Lunageron hunt maybe. Cool. So Kaiser Crown, 3 critical eye, critical boost, threw on a flinch free on top of that, right? Because we can get to 100%, almost 100% affinity, excuse me. Almost 100% affinity to weak points, which is going to be incredible. The chest, we got the Azure Age Haori, okay? It's got 1 weakness exploit on there, and a 2-slot. So I tossed in a protective polish. The Constitution really is just kind of icing on the cake. We don't really need all that much stamina management, but you know, this is master rank, so if you find yourself blocking a lot of things, your stamina is going to come back a little quicker than usual. So can't really hurt to have a little bit more Constitution. Yeah, Val Strike braces are here yet again. 2 X, you know why they're here, right? And then threw on an artillery on top. Okay, you know, Charge Blade is thirsty for skills, man. You need a lot of skills to make this work. And Coil is here. 2 attack boost, a load shells, and 2 speed sharpening. Gemmed in the load shells and the speed sharpening to help upkeep that sliver of white that we got, so we can cut through anything, almost. And then the Basil Goose Greaves are here yet again. This time I gemmed on a protective polish. Comes with 2 artillery, 1 guard. Really good, really good. And then the talisman, yet again, you guys know I'm going to be squeezing the mess out of this guard charm, right? It's the best charm I have, I think, ever. But 3 rapid morph, 2 evade extender, threw on the load shells on top with another speed sharpening, right? So let's go into this. Let me get a drink of water. My throat is really bothering me. Hold on. Let me get a little drink of water right quick. Nice and cold. All right. Excuse me. Anyway, look at all these skills. Oh my god. But critical eye 3, Wex 3, protective polish 3, artillery 3, speed sharpening 3, rapid morph 3. All of this stuff damn near maxed. You could probably slam on another critical eye somewhere if you deem one of these not as important. But hey, I like it, so I'm gonna leave it, right? Got the attack boost 2. This is just leftovers from using the Antracoil, but is it gonna help? Yes, right? Because the attack on this weapon is not that high, but hey, it's here. It's gonna give us a little +6 bonus. The Constitution is left over from the Azure Age Haori on the chest, you know. Gonna need load shells. That way when you do decide to do a SAD, you know, an elemental SAD at that, which should be easier to hit, because I think the when you do an elemental SAD, the fan for the explosion's a little wider, so it's easier to hit. And you know, we're gonna be fighting these icy monsters in half of the Citadel. Melt them away with your fiery SADs, you know what I'm saying? And then when you build up your charge and stock it with the yellow, you're gonna have 100% affinity, almost. I think it's 95% affinity, hitting those weak points while you build up your charge for your next SAD, if you so choose to do so, right? Like I said, middle of the road playstyle. You can go for SAD, Unga Bunga Slam. You can change up your Silk Binds and run the Spinning Blade, Pizza Cutter. Do whatever you want to do, man. Do whatever you want to do. Very flexible builds. And we got that flinch free on there so that you don't get tripped up by your fellow hunters when you guys are all sharing a smaller target. You know? So, yeah. Man, my throat is bothering me, but hey, we pushed through. That's gonna be today's video on the Charge Blade. All right, let me know what you think of these builds. Is there anything you would change? You know, let me know if you're gonna use these. Yeah, so we're here, we're doing it over and over and over again. Day after tomorrow should be, well, I'm gonna post this up tomorrow, so tomorrow should be the next news dump for Sunbreak, which I'm really looking forward to. Wanted to get this out before that news dump hits, because maybe it changes the way we look at the game with the info and the monsters that we have in there. So you never know. But hey, that's the CB builds for you guys. I'm gonna keep doing these. Vote in the comment section down below for what weapon you want me to do next. And as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.